This video is brought to you by Skillshare, but more on that in a moment. Salutations, traveller. I'm Vince, also known as PleasantKenobi on the internet. I'm the greatest beard in esports entertainment. I am the most milkable man in Magic. And if you've come here to have your favourite commanders picked apart and for me to say mean things to you, then you've come to the right place. I've just took my slippers off. I'm warm, so I took my slippers off because it's about to get hot in here, like a kitchen where we're roasting stuff. This is a tier list video. That's right, we've done 2 of these before. If you like this kind of video, then check out the links in the description below or in the cards to other tier lists like this. I'm going to go through and look at some of the most popular commanders in all of Commanderdom. I've done the first 30, I did the second 30, and now we're on to 60 through 90. However, over time, EDH Rep, where I grab and source my popular commanders from, has changed its list slightly as more lists have been put on there and times have changed and people's tastes change. So as you'll notice, there is more than 30 commanders here because a couple of them crept in to the previous 30. I didn't want to miss them out as we skipped into the more uncharted territory. Weird thing I noticed is that the second 30 had a lot of stuff I just didn't think would be very popular, and there's some very popular commanders in this next 30. Stuff that I thought would be much higher up on the list. Our tier list is through S through D. We've got sexy as S. I couldn't think of a good A, so I've put arsehole. That's because arseholes aren't bad. I'm quite partial to a little bit of arseholes. B for bastard tier, C for coward tier, and D for dog shit tier. I'm going to go through all these, I'm going to rip the shit out of you if you play them, I'm going to put them into their tiers, and if you're easily upset by someone just playfully mocking you for being a fucking coward and playing an overpowered commander, then turn off the video now. Just pause it, go scroll down, click PleasantKenobi, go to my video page, find something else you might like, if you have a delicate disposition. Don't cry in the fucking comments to me. Before we get started though, I do want to shout out today's video's sponsor, which is Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community where millions come together to take the next steps in their creative journey, with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. These can range from topics like illustration to music production, right through to freelancing or web development. There are absolutely tons of classes on a huge range of topics. I have personally used Skillshare to improve my understanding of things like Photoshop or the cameras that I use, so my colour grading is better or my thumbnails are better, and just to sort of elevate the channel a little bit here and there. I've been watching the YouTube Success video series by MKBHD this week. It's pretty relevant to my interests as I look for ways to step up my own game on this channel. If you want to get involved with a curated learning experience that is completely ad-free, then check out the link in the description of this video. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a free trial of premium membership, so you too can explore those next steps to level up your creative projects. Like I said, the link is in the description below and in the pinned comments. And if you aren't subscribed already to the channel, whilst you're down there, click the subscribe button as well. Oh lordy, we tier listing. Okay, I'm gonna mix these up a little bit because I think they're gone like alphabetical. Probably not, Z Drew is at the front, so Z doesn't really come at the front of the alphabet. Fucking love water. First up on the chopping block is Bruderclad, the mad lad himself, the Telcore engineer. Gives your creature tokens haste. Beginning your combat on your turn, you make a 2/1 blue mirror of that creature token. Then you may choose a token you control. If you do, each other token you control becomes a copy of that token. Token! I'm going to start off by putting a Bruderclad straight into arsehole tier, because he totally tickles my arsehole with the sheer, like, ludicrous stuff you can get up to. Obviously, he allows you to cheat on mana by turning like little mirror tokens you've got into the copies of things like Mere Battlesphere and other stuff like that. But honestly, he's not oppressive, but he opens up some interesting play patterns and a space within Magic that wasn't there already, giving the tokens haste and playing around with artifacts. I think he's interesting and not at all frustrating to play against. I like Bruderclad a lot. I'm not usually one to kink shame anybody. Hell, I'm not going to kink shame anyone here. But it's obvious that people who are into Hapatra, Vizier of Poisons, are into self-mutilation in terms of like shrinking yourself down with a -1/-1 counters and growing a fuckload of snakes. And snakes just aren't sexy in my opinion. Now, the other thing that bugs me, and something I haven't really brought up very often in the past, is that her flavor text is kind of shit. Her subtle smile is suffused with venom. I'm glad her smile is subtle, because the flavor text definitely fucking isn't.
So you see, that's where the trouble began. That smile. That damn smile.
I am not a big fan of Hapatra. I'm gonna stick her in dog shit tier. Zedru is my boy. He is my sexy boy. The goat man himself, only second to the big gay kings and Feldergrith for like political puppet, which was the name of his precon deck because I know my magic history. Am I right? Political puppetry and fucking group hug. He's giving out little gifts, but he's drawing cards and gaining life, and he's in a cool color combination as well. When Zedru first landed, there just wasn't that many Jeskai, at the time known as American color scheme commanders. So Zedru has a soft spot in my heart. It was also the precon that had Spell Crumple in it, and I was a big fan of tucking people's commanders back before we started holding everyone's hand and not letting that be a thing anymore. Thrasios is for tryhards, for sweaty tryhards. I would put it in C for competitive, but what we really mean is C for cowards. If you were really competitive, you'd push yourself a bit further, wouldn't you, CDH players? You'd be like, why don't I give myself a more of a difficult time? Instead of falling back on the typical stuff like Thrasios, Triton, shit bitch. Derevi is fucking dumb. I'm going to put him in the D for dumb category. The fact that he can bypass command attacks by putting himself onto the battlefield for 4 mana at instant speed is fucking stupid. Being a 2-3 Bant commander that can already do that and fly might have been a unique angle to have him as a Voltron commander, but they also thought, why not allow him to make himself and creatures you control untap shit when he enters the battlefield or when creatures you control deal damage. It's like they just kept going. It's like they're thinking, Tulane doesn't exist yet, so maybe we just need to push this one a little bit fucking further. 4 color commanders suck. I'm going to put Yidris above Thrasios. I don't think he's that cowardly. I quite like Cascade. He's maybe the bottom of Bastard tier, top of Coward tier. Again, giving things Cascade is kind of tight, but he's 4 color, so fuck him. I don't know about you, but I think Eminence is a bullshit mechanic. However, making bodies every turn or gaining life and triggering shit is very different to what Arabo does. He just gives cats +3/+3 into end of turn, which isn't that impressive, honestly. Look, I'm not here to shit on you if you're a cat boy or a cat girl or a furry or whatever you're into, so I'm going to put Arabo firmly in Bastard tier. He doesn't get me very excited, but I have no problem with him. If anything, he's a very flavorful commander without being overly powerful, and I'm kind of into it. Hell, I might even move him into the bottom of arsehole tier because I love a bit of pussy. I just didn't say that out loud on camera, fucking hell. Inala is a wizard commander with Eminence where you can copy wizards for 1 mana, and I'm just like, it's cool, but I fucking hate Eminence. Wizard Tribal, I'm into it. I'm going to put him in Bastard tier. Xyrus is the commander I was most hyped about that I never got around to actually playing beyond the precon, and I will go back to it at some point. I just guess we've had a global pandemic in the meantime. It's a 3/5 that makes snakes when you draw cards. You can wheel with an Impact Tremors or Perforos out, and if you haven't been here before, I'm a big fucking fan of Impact Tremors and Perforos. I'm going to put Xyrus in the bottom of sexy tier. Karametra is Elish Norn in disguise, bottom of arsehole tier. No, seriously, look at her fucking hat. That's Elish Norn. Rat Tribal, sack rats, make rats, give rats fear. Maronora is fucking awesome. Like, it is the de facto go-to rat commander. The great thing about it, in my opinion, is that it's not just the rat commander. Like, Edgar Markov is kind of the vampire commander, and I marked him down for that, for just being too fucking good. But Maronora is only black. I know most rats, if not all rats in Magic are in black, but if you then gave them red or white, they had access to other spells. So Maronora gives you some restrictions, whilst also making itself a very powerful and strong rat commander. I'm going to put it above Stealthy Elish Norn in the arsehole tier. Gave enters the battlefield with 5+1/+1 counters on him. Gave also combos with things like Doubling Season far too easily. Bottom of Coward tier, not quite as bad as Thrasios, so I don't think he's a competitive EDH card. Although, every time I say that, someone in the comment section has to... I just spat on my monitor. Every time I say that, someone in my comment section just tells me how competitive the card was. It's kind of getting frustrating to have... See, it happens on Twitter too. People are like, I know you're thinking about like casual EDH events, but in competitive circles. And I'm sat there like, I play 60 card competitive, you fucks. Like, CDH players are just legacy players that are too afraid to play 1v1. Don't even fucking at me, son. Sidisi Brood Tyrant is a kind of reanimated commander. It self-mills itself a little bit, and then it makes a singular zombie. Okay. Honestly, I've never understood the appeal of Sidisi. I think I'm going to put Sidisi in the bottom of bastard tier. I don't find it offensive. It doesn't make me want to puke in my own mouth, but I also don't really understand why the fuck you'd want to build this. I guess it's the self-mill commander that also makes zombies. Was it the first Sultai zombie commander? Is that what it is? Someone explain to me in the comments why you like Sidisi, and don't tell me it's because you want to fuck a giant snake person. Riku of Two Reflections, also known to me as Riku of Too Many Combos. If you're watching this, Craig, or if anyone knows which Craig I'm talking about, you used to always play Riku, and you had a lot better of a collection than anyone else. You're spending a lot more money on Magic than anyone else, and I guess I've just become that person over the years as well, so I can't be angry at you. You were like the proto-me in some ways. I now own most of the shit that you put in your decks, including duels and combo pieces. But I was always just frustrated to sit down against Riku because at the time it was just duplicating, well, it was Primeval Titans originally, then it was Sylvan Primordials, and then it was just key combos off tooth and nails. It was all the typical shit. So I still have a bit of flashbacks to that. So I'm going to put Riku in the top of Coward tier, bottom of Bastard tier. The fact that Rob also used to play Riku brings it up in my estimation a little bit, but Craig, you've damaged Riku for me. Are you happy now, Craig? Zur the Enchanter is kind of like Suntime, but instead of getting it from your graveyard, he gets it from the bin. Now, I know it's common to play Zur with stacks pieces, and I think that's wonderful. S tier. No, I'm not even joking. I find that Zur was like the boogeyman of the format for the longest time. I think Zur was like one of the most hated commanders for the longest time. Around the time when the first precons came out, a little bit after, and then now the format has evolved to everyone bemoaning Jeweled Lotus as if the sky is falling. But Zur was always the boogeyman when I was coming up in the format, and I love that. He's always there. He's like the weird uncle at a wedding that you avoid because you know he's going to try and trap you in a conversation about cryptocurrency and the Illuminati or some dumb shit. Erixmathes is there as the legendary land commander. Not land's decks, but land. It's actually a land to start out with, which is interesting. He's basically an excuse to put a land into the command zone. I think it was a very clever sort of answer to all the requests for a land in the command zone. For that reason, I'm going to put him in bastard tier, above the Eminence Wizard guy, way above Sidisi, the stupid bitch. Kinnan, for some reason, to me, the art looks like a Hearthstone card. Absolutely no hate to the artist. I think it's just the colourful look of Ikoria in general has this feel where it feels like it's not quite Magic. Not in a bad way, but kind of like it's got its own visual identity that's so colourful and bright. Kinnan was released in a time when everyone was looking to every mythic and or legendary blue-green card to be broken as shit. Like he was following up from Oko and Uro. And whilst he wasn't as busted as those, his power level is very pushed. He is a 2/2 bear that has all this extra text on him. Doubling mana, putting things into play that aren't humans. Like, in the grand scheme of Commander, he isn't that scary. But he's a 2/2 bear with like shit tons of upside. He's weirdly pushed. I'm going to put him at the bottom of Bastard tier, slightly above Coward. Nefroy is the kind of commander that someone plays just because they want to prove to you that they understand mutate it better than you do. And you know what? I don't give a shit. Fuck off, Nefroy. D tier. I don't know if it's the norm for Ramos, but I once played against Charm Tribal, which was just Ramos with every single charm in it. And honestly, it was wonderful. I forget who was piloting it. I thought it was very funny. I loved it. Yeah, Ramos, you can go in sexy tier. No, hang on, no, you're 5 colour. Downgraded for that, arsehole tier. Just below the pussy. On the surface, Narset Enlightened Master is a 6-mana creature, so you're thinking she might be here to play ball and be nice. But no, she's a Hexproof commander that normally involves attacking and doing some sort of sequence of casting spells on top of your library and copying things and untapping her and taking extra turns, where it's just watching someone else come on the table whilst you're left just to watch. And some people might be into that. I'm not. D. Our first rogue tribal commander ever, I believe, is Anawan the Rune Thief, who is just Anawan the Rune Sage, but for cowards. It has a lot of text on it that to this day I don't think I've read, and I've played against it at least 3 times in Webcam Commander. D. There is something about green cards with a new legendary frame, like, you know, the Hydras and stuff, where they all just look the same to me. A Vigilant 8/7 for 6 mana that makes your Hydras cost less. And whenever a creature you control becomes a target of spell, Gargos fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. This card is boring. Like, I get that people wanted a legendary Hydra that had some sort of payoff for playing Hydras. But you are all settling so low here. Like, the bar is so high. Like, killing doubles your mana and cheats things into play? This just fight stuff and cost reduces? And why is it an 8/7 for fuck's sake? D. First Sliver is not only a 5-color commander, but it's also a Sliver commander, so it is definitely a thing that only annoying people play with. D. Sliver Overlord is a 5-color commander, but also a Sliver commander. The kind of thing only annoying people play with. I'm getting a bit deja vu here. D. Omnath Locus of Rage is just a lands deck for people who have anger issues. D. Tristani is a mythic that you just did not want to open back in RTR block. It wasn't worth any money then, it's not worth any money now. It didn't see any standard play, it didn't see any modern play, it didn't see any legacy play. And for some fucking reason, people like it in Commander. D. Xenagos is a little bit more exciting than the last 5 commanders we've talked about in doubling power and being an indestructible god. I'm quite a big fan of it. It can just kill people out of nowhere, but that's kind of fun for a red-green deck. I mean, green is the best colour in Commander, but at least it's not got blue in it. I'm going to put it top of B tier above the land commander. Look, we get it. You like elves. I understand. When she hits people, she makes elves. She's got evasion built in. She's got a payoff for having elves. You know what? I don't hate it. I want to hate it because elves historically have been a bad matchup for me in multiple formats when playing D&T. But I don't hate it. Is she my favourite elves command? Well, no, that's Reese the Redeemed, right? B. We come to probably my favourite Omnath, Locus of the Royal. When he enters a battlefield, he shoots stuff at the number of elementals you control, which is a lot of fun. Big fan of elementals. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on an element you control. If you draw 8 or more lands, draw a card. Now, a recurable card draw on a commander that isn't Tachyova, because I'll make an exception for my baby, is kind of good. Like, probably too good. But the fact that he cares so much about both lands and elementals is really cool to me. I do think it's a shame that he didn't have white in his card identity, and the next one did, but I'd rather play this in my command zone with white so I can play Flicker Wisp and Revelark and all the really fun white elementals. But I'm going to put Omnath, Locus of the Royal, a lands-caring rug commander. I'm rug commander. I'm going to put an arsehole tier. Above Bruderclad, but below Zer. It's almost boring because it's so good, but I have a soft spot for this guy, so fuck you, it's my tier list, not yours. Kozilek the Grand Distortion. He draws you back up to 7 when you cast him. He's probably my favourite of the big colourless commanders. I'm going to put him at the bottom of arsehole tier, just above the bastards. Locust God has usurped my boy Niv-Mizzet the Firemind for being the better sort of draw, wheel and combo commander. I'm bitter about this, I won't lie, so I'm going to put him in mid-B. Above the Lamb, below Xenagos, I'm okay with your wheeling and making a load of Locust, okay? It's an Impact Tremors commander, and I have a soft spot for Impact Tremors. What can I say? Stand to attention, men! Admiral on deck, it's Admiral Beckett Brass, the big old pirate lady. I fucking love this art. I like the fact that it looks like she has just arrived on the ship, either post-cannonball smashing a hole through that thing, or I like to imagine the smoke has cleared and there she is, like she landed on the ship on top of a fucking cannonball. She gives pirates +1/+1, she's in Grixis colours to give you access to all the pirates. She's probably de facto the best pirate commander, but that's like saying you're the best dog shit at a dog shit convention. It's not something that most people would be proud of. She gains control of non-land permanents when you hit people with 3 or more pirates, meaning she pillages and plunders, so she's incredibly on theme. And you know what? Her flavor text isn't that on the nose. You and your shit will make a fun addition to my fleet. You know what, Beckett Brass? I think you are probably one of my favourite Grixis commanders for just how on theme and flavourful you are. I'm not going to play Pirate Commander anytime soon, but if I was, I'd be excited to play with her. S tier. Literally, wait, fuck, where'd she go? S tier, just below Zer. Admiral Beckett Brass, do they salute people in the Navy? Do pirates salute people? She's not really in the Navy, is she? She's a pirate, Vince. What the fuck are you talking about? So how do you feel about my tier list? Do you feel like I was unnecessarily mean to Nethroi Apex of Death because I don't want to know how mutate works? Please stop talking. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of my tier list. Tell me if I roasted you too hard or roasted you too soft. People said I was a bit soft in the last 2 videos, so I've made sure to be a little bit harsher this time. I'm going to get harsher and harsher until I explode into a ball of burning rage. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button, smash that bell. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. If you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button. And next time you have a wank, think of me as you come. Big shout out to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. A link in the description below for that. And I'll see you all next time. Ta-ta for now.